Hi, welcome to Caliphate Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing A Curse So Dark and Lonely and A Heart So Fierce and Broken. So I read this book. This is essentially a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. When I do these reviews, I'm just going to be, there will be spoilers for this one because it's already been out. It's been out for a little while. For A Heart So Fierce and Broken, because I got an arc for it, I'm not going to give any spoilers. It will be out in January. I just feel like that's probably the most fair way to go. So anyways, for A Curse So Dark and Lonely, we have two people who are trapped essentially in a loop, and that's Ren and Gray. And what happens is that an evil enchantress cursed Ren and his entire household, and basically he becomes a monster at the end of the season, which is the autumn season presumably. And so what happens is he becomes a monster and he kills people. Unfortunately, if he doesn't fall in love and find someone to love him and him as a monster, then the season resets and it starts all over again. So through all these seasons that he's been trapped as a monster, he ends up killing everyone who is around him except for Gray. Gray was given a magical device that allows him to go into a different world, which is our world, and he goes to Washington DC, and he basically kidnaps women, brings them back, and tries to get them to fall in love with Ren. Because Ren is handsome and he's rich and he's a prince, of course they fall in love with him. Unfortunately, as soon as they see the monster, they no longer love him, they fear him, they try to run away. Most of them get away, but a few of them don't, and unfortunately he kills them. So this story has Harper, who is going to be our female lead. She was born with cerebral palsy, and she has a slight limp. Everyone treats her like she's a delicate flower. She hates it. She wants to be her own individual, wants to prove that she's strong. She has a strength. Her brother especially treats her like she is weak and needs to be protected. Which really irritates the crap out of her. So anywho, she ends up getting kidnapped, and basically her season with Ren is his last season. So if he does not get her to fall in love with him, then he is essentially going to be trapped as a beast for all eternity. And so this book follows them kind of getting to know each other, and she is adamant about how she will never love him, and she's also very concerned about her family back in Washington DC. So basically this book is going to be going on this this ride about, like, obviously he's not going to get her to fall in love with him. She's already said that, but she does enjoy the fact that they don't treat her like she's broken. They do treat her like she has strength of her own, which she does. And so basically they just go through the whole story, and of course she ends up falling in love with him because, you know, it's Beauty and the Beast. It is literally the retelling of Beauty and the Beast. So yeah, so that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I enjoyed it just because first of all, Beauty and the Beast is my favorite story, but also they mixed it up a little bit. They gave Harper like her own power, which I thought was really nice. I mean, there was some like eye-rolly moments, but in the most part it was a really quick read, and I fell in love with the characters pretty quickly. I was really happy when you know, Harper kind of found her own voice, found, you know, her own strength, and she wasn't held back, which was also really nice. And that kind of leads us into this book. So at the end of Curse So Dark and Lonely, they defeat the Enchantress. He gets to be a human. The time spell is broken, and in order to do that, Gray basically had to take her back to the real world to kill her. So that's where this book picks up, is what happens after Gray kills the Enchantress. So in this book, the focus is no longer on Ren and Harper. It is now on Gray and what he's going through. I will say that this book, I really enjoyed it. It made me yell at it. So there's that, because people make really dumb choices in this book. And you know, as the reader, like, that is not what you should be doing. And so you try to impart that knowledge by screaming at the book, and it doesn't work. But this one, it kind of shows the writer's abilities a little bit better than the other one, because she can't follow Beauty and the Beast on this one. This one does not follow Beauty and the Beast at all. The other one is literally outlined by Beauty and the Beast. This one gives you more information on the characters that you kind of wanted to know more about in the last book. And it also shows a different type of strength for the character that, you know, for Gray and the other characters in here. I think that this book is, I want to say it was better, but it's like comparing apples and oranges. This book did make me cry. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not ashamed to admit it. And it did make me yell. And it did make me just kind of like want to strangle something. And I'm trying to give you a good review without giving stuff away, and it's really, really hard. But I think overall that A Heart So Fierce and Broken is a great follow-up, and I am dying because the next book doesn't come out for forever, and it left me on a cliffhanger. So if you like your books to end on cliffhangers, this is the one. And I'm hoping that I can get my hands on another arc so that I can finish the book. But all in all, I just want to say that this was a great book. The two books together are the make of an astonishing trilogy. I think it's going to be a trilogy. I feel like it's going to be a trilogy. It could be more. I don't know. I'm not great at following those things as much as I should be. But like I said, if you haven't read A Curse So Dark and Lonely, highly suggest you do. And definitely pick up this book when it comes out. You will not be disappointed. That being said, if you're looking for a book that has like a lot of like in-depth character development and is like monumentally like as deep as the Mariana Trench, then this isn't the series for you. But if you're looking for a great book that has some depth, that gives you some feels, this is the series that you should be reading. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. So, thank you for stopping by.